Hi, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Not Statistic TV. I appreciate everyone who's going to be tuning in. We have youth advocate, mentor, and entrepreneur Rickey Layfield, who I am so honored to have on because this was my mentor in high school, who I appreciate so well, so dearly. So you guys, as you guys come on, we will see you guys comments. Say hey to us. Say where you coming from, so we can shout you guys out. I appreciate everyone who's going to be tuning in tonight. This is going to be a great conversation um, with Mr. Rickey Lakefield. I just want to thank you again, Mr. Rickey, to come on with me, just to share your story as well as mentorship, as well as how you have gave back to the community and all the great things that you have been doing in um, multiple hundreds of youth lives. How you doing, Clifford? How you doing? Appreciate you coming on. So we're gonna get right into it, guys. Um, like someone also asked me the other day, was like, "How do you know him?" I actually know him. I was in a program at Chicago Urban League. Some of you all may know or may not know, on the kind of like low end of Chicago. And basically, I did a summer program basically to help me with scholarships and just help me, to navigate into basically going into college. So I ended up enrolling into the program, a summer program, and I was able to meet Mr. Rickey, and he was just awesome. And I was just telling him this before we got on broadcast that it just so amazed me. I didn't know how close in age that we were because the great, wisdom and how he carried himself, his character, just showed that he was much, much, much older than me. So I appreciate him taking the time out of his night to actually come on. So, like I said, as you guys come on, you're on YouTube, Facebook, we live on Facebook as well as YouTube. Please like, comment, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. So we're gonna go right into it. Rickey, could you please tell us a little bit more about yourself, other than you being a youth advocate, a mentor? Just kind of share us a little bit about your story.
So Rickey Layfield. I'm from the east side of Chicago. Some might say the southeast. Most of my life was spent there outside of college. Went to NIU and got my bachelor's in political science, and then my master's degree was in education. I've been working in youth engagement since about 22, 23. Multiple program, trio program. I work with you all through Chicago Urban League, and once I'm in Chicago, worked at CPS for a while, working with special ed students. Also worked for the Becoming a Man program, doing youth counseling. Still work there. I still work at Mercy Home for Boys and Girls, and I still work as a youth counselor at Gary Coleman Youth Center. I have my own nonprofit, also an entrepreneur. So I got a car rental business, clothing business. It's a lot of ways to make money, and I try to connect with most of them. So I might jump into real estate a little bit sometimes or stock, but I've been a hustler since I was a kid selling candy. So I always wanted to figure out how to make more money. And to me, the biggest wealth though is what you pour into other people. So
Period.
that's just how I pretty much live my life and base my things on that.
Wow, that's dope. That's dope. So he said a mouthful, guys. Like he's doing big things, as you guys can see. But one thing what Drew that struck out to me that you said was very profound, like the different organizations that he's connected to. Like he said, the Boy and Girls Club. He was with Chicago Urban League. Once from Chicago and different things, and even CPS, right? And he's, as you guys may know, like he's a young man. Like he's not that much older as I thought he was, but he's doing great things as well as like he talked about even um mentorship as well as the counseling part of it. So he's doing great things. And also, can you talk more about how you even had the passion of, like you said, you know that you've been a hustler, right? You do all type of things. You're an entrepreneur, right? And you're a mentor, and so how did you even have the passion to be into youth engagement, youth advocacy?
I'm gonna say it started before college, but it really started at college. Me and my mentor created a nonprofit called Liberated Management Organization, and to me it was personal because prior to college, I'm from over east, went to Hyde Park. I spent a lot of time in the streets, and like me and my friends didn't really have too much guidance or help at all. Like we ran everything on our own. Nobody to look up to on a positive end or negative end really. Like maybe one mentor that's a little old enough to put us on some game, but it was more so street knowledge. And liberated minds was a way for me to get back for the things I did that I wasn't proud of. So
Mm,
starting that nonprofit and being able to have so many students like myself, we're the same age or even older, and we built each other up. We learned different things, taught each other different things, and we gave back to the community. The community service was a big piece, and that was a way
mm,
for me to create that good karma because I do believe you get what you put into the world. And prior
absolutely.
prior to like college, I could honestly admit that most of what I put into the world was negative. This being real.
Mm,
Um, Outside of showing my brothers love, it was negative. So that's how I kind of got into it, create a nonprofit and being really engaged in college. And that environment plays a huge role too, because
right.
being in that environment, I had the same skills that I had in high school, but I had a different environment and I could use them differently. So I created all types of stuff in college, and it really led to me doing the youth engagement. To be honest,
Wow. That's dope. That's dope. And you said something that was like, man, you provided what you was looking for. Like you really didn't have like nobody like, positive to like impacting you and your guy as well as nobody negative. And you provided what you was looking for. And like you said, you had people mentoring like older, younger, but y'all just pour into each other and you all made that as into a nonprofit organization. And so like let's be real, like if somebody was to see you on the street, right, they would think that you're the average black man with dreads, right? They would know how educated you are. They would know the great things that you're doing as a community, right? So how is that, having to deal with as the average black man, but just even, like you don't look like, because people can perceive how you are just not only with your skin tone, but just maybe you're dressing or something like that, right? You don't you do wear suits, but like you just who you are. And how is
mm-hmm.
that, going into the world and being judged and, before people even have a conversation with you, they kind of judge you and perceive who they think you are. So how is that even this day and age for you?
I use it to my advantage. What I mean by that is, like, even at NIU, when I was in charge of the programming board, people were surprised this black dude with tattoos and dreadlocks was running a budget this large or running an organization this big. And honestly, when people underestimate you, it gives you an advantage because you don't
Right.
know what I know. You think I know nothing. I could do half of my effort and probably win because you already underestimated me. So I
Period.
play to my advantage. Even when I write the music I listen to, you'll be surprised. But I know how to not necessarily code switch because I am who I am. I know how to appreciate different cultures and different parts of my identity. So with that being
Mm,
said, it's easy for me to jump into a meeting with my superiors or my boss or the director of my job and
right.
speak and use intelligence the same way I could pull up on 79 and go to the gas station and talk to Shorty about something important. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's good to have that, but I actually don't have a problem being underestimated. To me, it
Mm,
always gives me an advantage. Whenever I get hired in a job, they're like, "Oh, we gonna hire this dude. He cool." And before you know it, I'm getting a promotion, or I'm supervising somebody
period.
else. So yeah, I think as black men and black women, we hate it because we always judge prior to getting hired, or we might not get hired at all for having natural hair and stuff like that.
Mm,
Personally, I
yeah.
don't want to work anywhere where my hair isn't allowed. And secondly, I'm not opposed to being underestimated. It works in my favor every time because I just have to
Wow.
really sit down and study and learn and put myself engulf myself into whatever my passion is. I'm gonna be great.
Wow, that's dope. That's dope. So you said you use it for your advantage, and some people when they look at that, oh, they step back because oh man, they judge themselves. They look at how I look or how it is or whatever the case may be. But you say, what, man, like my dreads they long anyway, right? Like I'm not gonna cut them for to get a job or to whatever, but I'm able to still get in rooms that because of my intellect and my experience and my wisdom and just what I'm passionate about, despite of what I look like, right? Because the average black man is hard for the average black man and a black woman, black general. You black, it's really hard for you. But the fact of the matter, you said use that to your advantage. So I think that was really good. That was really profound that you said. So how do you, as you being a youth advocate and mentor for youth all over the city, what are some things that you had to tackle what were some mental barriers that you had to break to literally open up, like allow, I mean, used to open up to you, right? Hey, they look like, that's my cousin, Ricky or whatever, or that's somebody, that I might hang out with, right? But how did you, actually say, what, I had a rough, journey. I went through this, right? So I'm able to, connect with you. But how was you able to connect with people, in a mental state? Like, how was you able to break the barriers?
So honestly, man, and I work with young women and young men now, but most of my time, like working for BAM, is only I'm working with young men.
Mm-hmm.
Wood, some in the streets and whatnot. And a lot of times, like you said, how I carry myself. So I had boys who didn't think I understood what was going on, what they was talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they started mentioning like certain hoods in Chicago. I'm like, oh, you talking about on 71st Street or 63rd Street? How you know about that? Or or I tell them about certain neighborhoods and how the neighborhood was created. Like the people
Wow.
who who y'all block his name out. I mean, when they was alive. A lot of people went to Hyde Park. A lot of people are from the Chicago is big, but it's not that big.
Right, right,
So
right.
I give them the history. I'm like, oh, you talking right there? Like this how that began. Or I remember a student was talking about like, it's different Layfield in 2008 with nobody shooting, and I had to laugh because I was like, oh, that was you thinking like
Right,
that
exactly.
everybody they got it worse. And I can speak on some of the things my guys or I was doing in high school. You be like, what? So no, man,
Wow.
we always want to blame the next generation for being worse than what we were or previously. But
Talk about
the
that.
reality is nothing. It's some new things, but it's the same culture. So it's really them getting to know me. And it takes time because I never want to jump in the classroom like I did A, B, C, and D. This is where I'm from because that's not the point. You want them to see something different. But at the same time, I got to teach them the game while I let them know I understand. Because coming down to my
Mm,
students and saying, don't do this, don't do that, it's not going to work.
yeah,
Telling any woman what to do is not going to work. Now, I
period.
can see it through and look at the decisions you're making and where it could lead because we
Right.
all know common sense, man. Like you could think you're untouchable, and the male ego is very real. We think that we won't get caught, or it won't be us who get
Yeah.
shot or get caught lacking. But at the end of the day, nobody's untouchable. So I just be
Period.
real with my students always. I don't
Mhm.
want no mentors where I'm sugarcoating nothing for you, or I gotta have this facade. A lot of my students was my friends on Facebook, and I am who I am.
Right.
What it is. So if I gotta have that, then I probably should be in the profession, and that's just how I feel
Period.
personally. And a
Period.
lot of students, especially if you a kid from the streets, you know what somebody authentic or not. Like you
That's
know
true.
what somebody full of BS. You know when somebody lying to you. You know it because I seen it when I was 12, 13. I could read it. Like oh no, nah, I ain't talking to dude or no, nah,
Yeah.
dude this, dude that. So I just keep it 100, and I learn from them like they learn from me. My students taught me a lot.
Wow. That's so that's good. That's good. And something that I'm gonna go back to, I'm just saying what you just said. You said that you learn from your students. You've been saying that since you first got on, like even people that was older or younger than you, you came to a mindset where I can learn from anybody, and that is so good. Even as being a mentor, that you're just not, I know everything. You gotta follow what I say, or my blueprint of what I went through and stuff like that, and you will get higher. But man, could put me on some stuff that I never, knew about. That even though I'm older, but like you said, even before we got on this broadcast, that everybody journey is different. So we all can learn from each other because you just never know what somebody been through, and they can help you get through what you've been through, basically. So that was really good. Also, you said something about how you would know when somebody being authentic, somebody just being fake. Like you could tell, even if they words is good, or they gestures and everything. So what are some things that you kind of teach your youth, like how to, who may not come from the background that you came from, right? That may be a little timid and introvert, right? How can you help them navigate? What are some things that you help install into them to, like, how to navigate in this street, in these streets? So not just in Chicago, but just in the world period, that may not have the support at home.
So the age definitely matters. I think with my high school students, maybe in seventh, eighth grade, the identity piece in high school is intricate and important because in high school you're basically sucking in everything around you, and you've been yourself. Now I got some youth now that are solid in their identity. That's who they are. But
Mm,
as a high school student, you're very impressionable. So with that being said, for my shy students, I try to make sure and talk to them about who they are and develop their own
mm,
identity. Because you got somebody who don't know where to belong, they can go anywhere. You know, you always
Right.
see kids that flow from crew to crew. They might
Mhm.
be an athlete one week, they might be a nerd one week, they might be doing drugs next week, they might, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, they might gang bang the other week, and that's the streets not for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Period.
in my mind, if you're a kid that likes art, then you could do that. If you're a kid that want to play golf, you could do that. Like you're a
Right.
kid that want to bake, do that. You want to have a blog, you could do that. And
Mhm.
that's the biggest thing about having high school students. Let them know that their identity, whatever it might be, it's okay. You don't got to fit in with nobody else. You know what I'm saying? One thing about
Right.
me is my mother knew it. Any trouble I got in because I got in that trouble. Nobody made Ricky do nothing. Like if I ever got in the court, it was like I got influenced, I got manipulated. No, you're not manipulating me. You're not gaslighting me. I'm doing what I
Right.
want to do. Now, if I get in the
Mhm.
jam, it's because I made the wrong decision. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, a lot of our youth, it's not the case. They they
Mhm.
they, they might want to fit in, and they might do things that is out of their character. So for my
Mhm.
shy students, I really try to build up who they are and what they're like. You know, if
Right.
it's anime, that's fine. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever it might be. So that the biggest thing is me helping them figure out their identity and who they are before they fall into the wrong crowd that they don't belong in.
Wow, that's good. That's really good. Like one thing I that was hit on it. Like I think that was something I was thinking about too. Like just build them up. Like show them who they are, and like like you said, whatever they desire to do, like you push them to do that very thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a very crucial piece. Mentoring and being an advocate because people need that. You never know when they leave your presence. You don't know who they going home to. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what the streets gonna introduce them to. So this can let them know who they are because if they in your presence or not, they know who they are and they stand strong on that. So that's really good that you said that. As you guys come on, I see you guys comments. Say hey, share this broadcast. Comment, say what's up. This is some good information that he's sharing, and it's only the beginning. Um, so this talk about who was in your corner as you was transitioning, right? Like, I mean, I know you a little bit, like I said, I've been knowing you since I was in high school, but you sound like a very popular guy, but I know that you say what?
I wouldn't say all that.
But now seriously, like who was in your corner as you like started kind of like just transition to who the man you are today?
It's hard to answer. So like, I think I got friends for different parts of my life, right? And some
Mhm.
that get over. So all the guys from our neighborhood, when I went to school, I went alone. Like none of them went with me, nothing like that.
Mhm.
Um, and I had like some guy that was in prison writing me like the jail letters with the legal pads, like super long. I'm
Yeah,
reading that,
wow.
I'm getting the survivor's remorse because it's like, man, I'm in college having a great time, and
Yeah.
my friend, is incarcerated. So when I got to school, I got a mentor, Kevin Smith, who really put me on. Like he grew up in the Greens, but when I met him, you wouldn't know where he was from. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And he was pretty popular, pretty involved in college, and he had me read like the Student Government Constitution and the bylaw, which is a lot of pages. And I'm a freshman, like
Yeah,
I ain't finna read that, but I read it. You know what I'm saying,
absolutely.
I learned the law of the school early, so he put me on. But granted, like my friends from where I grew up, my fraternity brothers, college friends, like everybody who I know, like we still they still get to see different parts of me. It's hard for me to really figure out who know me through the whole transition. Like I got some people
Yeah,
that knew me since high school, might went to college with me and see me now. They be like, oh
yeah,
okay, and they know what's up. Like
yeah, right.
they know my humble beginnings and where I'm at now. So I got different people in different parts. It's hard for me to really
Yeah.
name somebody that was there through every stage. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? What I would say is though, no matter like what I did in school or how long I was gone, my guys I grew up with never switched up. Like never.
Mm,
Like they always stayed solid, ten toes down. They're still family.
right.
So that's always love. And they even hit me up now and try to figure out how to make legal, legit money and how to make it work.
Right.
Um,
Right.
which is a skill everybody need, man. The thing about hustling is people just want to know how to make it work, and a lot of us in the hood don't have that knowledge. Um,
Mm,
like the Wall Street trapper, he's a like a stock expert now, and he figured out he went to prison, and somebody in prison told him like he was hustling wrong. Like the dude in the prison was in there for like $1 million embezzlement. And dude was in there for
mm,
like some crack, and he was like, "Dang, that's what you in here for?" He said, "Yeah, and I ain't gonna do as much time as you because the crime is different. You know, the
mm. Right.
our skinned people, they commit crimes too. It's just different how it looks.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I so to answer your question, like who's in my corner, like I got family and stuff like that.
Right.
Nobody was out of my corner. I still got
Mm.
friends. But I think the biggest thing that people need to understand is that you are your corner. Like
Woo!
there's been moments
You
where
are your corner. Let me write that
I
one down.
like if I couldn't pay my mortgage today, I had to figure out how to get to it. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
always got friends I love, family that I love, but at the end of the day, like nobody gonna love you more than you. And I think we
Yeah.
always search for somebody else to care about ourselves more than we care about ourselves, and that just doesn't work. I got my own flaws. I'm aware of that, but at the same time, I anything I got is because I wanted to get it. Like whatever
Right.
I want, I obsess over it. Like okay, let me if I want a new apartment, I'm looking at apartments all day. I done got
Right.
removed from a crib and got a new crib in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Like because even with jobs, like I still job hunt and I'm employed. I got 3 jobs. I'm still and I still job hunt. You know what I'm saying? I still look for new business
Right.
opportunities. It's something you gotta want to do. That intrinsic motivation is key.
Wow, that's dope. Woo, that was good. Like you are your own corner. Like nobody can love you more than you love yourself, man. Like that was so good. And you said something, like it really wasn't. You have different people for different journeys, and it wasn't nobody that wasn't in your corner. And that was good. Like you said, you got family, you got friends, and you put them in different categories. So that's good because I ain't gonna lie. Some people misplace people. Some people you assignment. Some people really your friends, and you just when you put assignments with friends and you it's a lose-lose situation. So that was really good. And let's talk more about like you doing a little bit of everything, man. Like you really making some big moves and kind of talk about people been talking about the stock market as well. Kind of talk about briefly about like you said, you've been a hustler since you was a shorty and you was selling candy and stuff like that, but like just even now I know you on a bigger scale, like far as money. It's just not just making some money. I'm sure you want like generational wealth. So like can you talk more about that?
So one thing I learned is that, and I know you want to talk about loot and stuff like that. One thing I learned about our culture as a people is that we make money and spend money. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Black Wall Street, of course, it was destroyed, but the reason why it stayed down, it actually was rebuilt, and then it went away because whites gave us the opportunity to shop with them. So
Mm-hmm.
without the black dollar being spent with the black people, we're not gonna make money. We're not gonna make revenue.
Right.
White people shopping with us. That's just what it was. Even
Mm-hmm.
today, black-owned businesses' main customers are probably black people, and it's
Mm-hmm.
2020, which is understandable. So I
Right.
learned that our bad habits hinder us from moving forward. For instance, and I definitely got my vices. I'm the type of dude where I can sit in the house for a week, but when I go out, I'm gonna go out, right? I'm buying a
Right.
shot for you. I'm buying a shot for you. Are we finna get a bottle? Cool. Are we want to eat? Whatever. I gotta put some gas in the car. All right, cool. All right, Burger Day from out west and drive to the hundreds. Okay, let's make it. Let's make this move. That stuff adds up, right?
Right.
Um, and a lot of times our vices might be, it might be online shopping because I like shopping too. It make me feel better. It
Mm-hmm.
might be buying marijuana. You might be buying weed. I mean, I'm sorry. You might be buying liquor. You might be going
Mm-hmm.
to the club or whatever. That little money, the little couple of dollars, could go into the
Adds
stock
up.
market and do so much. Just being honest. If
Mhm.
the reason why I got my building and my property because I went to bartending school and I learned that they was only putting maybe an ounce or maybe 2 ounces in your drink. So that's a shot. That's 2 shots in your drink in the cup, probably
Yeah.
$14. A bottle of liquor is $40, $50.
Right, people.
It's only 17, it's 17 whole shots in that bottle. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's a upcharge. Liquor is like 100% upcharge. I slow down on my drinking and I legit save enough money for a down payment on the property. For real. So whatever your bad habit is, I take pride like, okay, I want to feel like I don't need nothing. So whatever my vice is, I cut it out for a while to see if I can go without it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be dependent.
Oh, that's good.
So when you start to do that, it's like, okay, let's say I like this quarantine, I was playing the game like crazy. Let me take like 5 or 6 days off the game, see if I'm okay without it. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
might have been kicking it. Let me spend this like 5 or 6 days or a week without going out, without drinking. Okay, cool. Like remove those vices for a while, and once you kind of remove it, it's almost like weaning yourself off of a bad habit. It's like, okay, I don't really need this. Where's my
Right.
so my biggest thing is like I'm not like a super stock expert at all. It's really to
Mm-hmm.
me about reading trends. If you don't have no insider trading, you're looking at trends, you're looking at what's going on in the media to see what'll drop. But
Okay.
statistically, every year the stock market rises.
Mhm.
Like overall, the stock market rises and that money goes up. So instead of putting your money into bad habits, you could throw it into a stock. Now the stock might drop for the moment. It's
Right.
rare that business fails and bottoms out, but
Mhm.
you look up in 5 6 years, forget it's there, and you got money. So what I do now is like
Thousands.
when I got $100 in my bank account and I pay all my bills or invested in whatever, I'm like I'm
Right.
broke. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to put no money on no stocks. I'm not trying to put no money on no investments. I'm broke.
Right.
I get $80 right now. The $80 I'm going to stretch for this week till I get paid again. Because I
Okay.
don't.
Period.
When you start getting into your assets, it's kind of like that when you mess up. Because more than likely you probably and not everybody. I'll
Mhm.
probably spend money on something I didn't need to spend on that week anyway. A big
Wow.
vice for me is take out food as well too. You know,
Yep.
if I was to, if you sit, if I the first sit down and cook, you could save hundreds of dollars a month, depending on how much you eat takeout.
Ooh, yes.
So it's figuring out your vices, man. Like I remember I was ordering Uber Eats like crazy in February, March. That stuff add up. That could all be money in stocks.
Wow, that's true. That's true. That just helped me out, man. Like looking at bad habits and seeing how long you can go without them. That's dope. Like because it's a lot of things that we feel like we need, but we really don't need. Like I don't need my nails done. I don't need my nails done. I don't need. You know what I'm saying?
Now I got it bad. Like I probably go buy an outfit and some new shoes that people can't even see where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And it might be people I
Right.
see all the time. Anything we do that we be like, why am I doing that? It's something we got to break. Um,
Period. That's definitely true. We gotta break it, man, because then like that's it's that poverty mindset sometimes, man. Like when we feel like we need a certain thing, but then the thing that we really need, we feel like we don't need it. Nah, you need life insurance. You need to invest in stock. You need to do these things, right? But instead, you rather get the latest Jordan. You rather get the. And I'm not saying that you can't do them things, but you gotta weigh your options. You gotta weigh like what's more important. And go kind of like your priority. So that's really good. And I didn't even know that you own property. That's dope. And you do the stock. You doing it. This is what I'm talking about, man.
I think that's why I say like your circle matters, man. Like I had people who
Yeah,
was around that was touching that. I was like, you know what? And honestly, man, like so people argue about if college is worth it. People argue about going to the military, argue about
right.
trades. The reality is everybody who's wealthy has more than one form of income. So no matter what base you choose, whether you do the trade school or the military or owning the business or going to college, which all could fail or succeed, no matter what base you choose, you're going to need more than one form of income. And anybody
Right.
who's wealthy has real estate in stock in their portfolio. That's just across the board. I don't think there's
That's
anybody who's
true.
a millionaire who doesn't have stock or real estate.
That's so true. As I even look and like observe that is so true. Like they do. They do. And that's so key though, because like you said, like your circle is like is so key because either you lose it or you don't. It don't matter. The fact of the matter is, it's just like where am I going? Even what you said prior, like you said that even if you like put invested money into a stock and you wait for like 4 or 5 years and you look like what you will have accumulated over that period of time. So that's so important. And we're going to do like a little shift a little bit. So I just want to know like what was um your mindset going into we talked about entrepreneur. We talked about you being an entrepreneur. You talked about you even being a mentor, like even like giving back, right? You did something that was so phenomenal for Juneteenth. Um, and even though we had out of a real like detrimental situation with George Floyd at that time, and like you did some great things for the park. You cook, y'all. You had hundreds of people out there. Like, what was your thoughts or even like that, as well as the community service that you do, you know, do often?
Man, it's funny because Time Hop. That Time Hop app that show you like what you posted. The
Mhm.
Juneteenth event has been on my mind since 2014, 2013. Legit, like
Wow.
I talked about it, but the reality is the hype just wasn't behind it. Like a lot of people didn't know
Right.
what it was, and it just wasn't that popular. And I had made posts like, man, we go crazy with Cinco de Mayo and St. Patrick's Day, but Juneteenth come, it's kind of like
Nobody. Yeah.
so one thing about event planning, like a lot of events sit in the back of my head for years, for years. And
Mm,
I'm like, dang, man, I want to do that, and I should have did it, or I always hear the timing is right. And this year, despite what was going on, the time for Juneteenth was right because our culture started to wake up and see that even though we are Americans, we created our own identity here and we don't
Yeah.
celebrate it.
Yeah.
And Juneteenth was a small victory. It's a big victory, but a small victory for the culture. And I think it
Hmm.
should be celebrated. Like if we
Wow.
celebrate 4th of July, we could surely celebrate Juneteenth. We celebrate St. Patty's
Yeah.
Day. We
Exactly.
celebrate
Fourth of
everything. We
July, all
celebrate
of that.
everything. You know what I'm saying? So Juneteenth is important. So my idea was to have us come together and have a good time. You know, it's been a rough year for everybody.
Right.
Everybody. And I try not to let it down from my spirit, but it's a transition, it's a change,
Yeah.
and it's just different. My
Right.
February started off weird before everything even hit, and it was like, dang, next month after that, the corona was going on. So we lost a lot of people. It's just been, 2020 has been interesting. So June
Yeah.
for me, and I had and my homies, they nonprofit, Feed the Block 773, like they were talking about doing it. I'm like, man, let's just get it done. And it was we had like 4 or 5 days to plan it, to be honest.
Yeah, I
But
seen. I was like,
yeah,
it's Friday.
and with me, people, like, I want to do this event, and I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna try to help. And I end up probably helping more than just helping during that event. Like we really sat down and got it done. Um, but I'm happy people came out and had a good time. So my thought process was for us to finally celebrate what we should have been celebrating this whole time.
Wow. So this a movement. So every Juneteenth, like we kicking it. Like we listen. We bringing the grills out. Everything.
We gotta do our thing because we black people will find a way to celebrate anything. So
Anything.
anything like, oh man, the Bulls won by 1 point. Let's have a kickback. We find a way to celebrate.
Right.
Juneteenth should be on the list.
Juneteenth to be on love. That's dope. So you said you had this plan like for years. Like you said, people wasn't educated about it. People didn't really honestly care about it. Or just people just didn't celebrate it. Like we skipped all of that. We went to Labor Day and all that, and then we went straight into no Memorial Day. And then we skipped that, and then we went to the 4th of July. Then everybody getting outfits and we rocking that. We rocking the colors and everything. But then we forget about Juneteenth, like what's so important. So that's really good. And you really brought the city out. I'm not even gonna lie. I had to work, but I know you brought the city out and you able to raise some great money to, provide the food and the DJ and all that. So that was really good. I'll talk about just, you know, the things that you place, you put into the community, like you said, with the youth as well, and also like, educating people on wealth and like, what is so important on how to make money and the legit money. But like, what are some other things that you have done over the course of the years, like for the communities?
Um, and it varies, man. Like from
Yeah.
personal to large scale. Like, man, I've had students who houses caught on fire that needed you
Um,
know, assistance for their family. I've had students who family didn't even like come to their trunk party, and we had to figure out money to get them sent to school. My nonprofit, we actually planned a trunk party for about 8 or 9 young people as a community for them to go off and stuff like that. Um, I mean, personally driving my kids to like they trade programs, helping them find jobs, letting them borrow. Like I got a lot of students that's like older now because I started
yeah.
off when they were like 2014, they was like freshman,
Yeah.
sophomore.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot
I
of
mean,
them,
like, yeah.
yeah, a lot of them in their 20s now. They trying to figure out what's next. Um, I think big events, and it's always something, man. Like from speaking
Yeah.
at schools to like doing different rallies to doing fundraisers to trying to like do events is to showcase women or tell women that we do care.
Hmm.
It just varies. I'm trying to think about the most recent. Oh yeah, the MLK Unity Day event that we
Wow.
playing with Bam. Where we had did Chance in the come this year? Did he? No. Last year Chance and Cowboy came. This year we had Heavy Steppers come and Hot Rod, but it was basically a chance for different regions because Bam was in like 80, 90
All
schools.
over it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was a chance to get all the youth to come together, and we had different workshops too, breakout sections, stuff like that.
Wow.
Even working with Urban Network, like we always doing something for the kids. My mentor Marlon Haywood puts a lot of work into that as a CEO, and we always end up doing some type of programming for the youth. So it's just something that is natural for me, and it's something I really care about. So whenever I do it, it's like it's not really work. It's a way for me to just try to plant a seed within the youth. To me, youth
Wow.
engagement is seed planting. it's gonna be most of us want to tell a kid what to do and they gonna do it at that very moment. It don't work like that, man. You gotta build a relationship, you gotta plant that seed, and it might grow. I got students that even went to jail and they was in jail like, you know what? I remember you told me this, and this, and it really makes sense to me now. So you never know
Yeah.
when that flower or that tree is gonna grow, but you gotta plant those
Mhm.
seeds, and that's what I do
That's
whenever I do any events.
Wow, that's good. That's good. And you said a whole lot, that you have done over the years, right? I know you can't really pinpoint all of them, right? But like just a broad of them, like the different communities, even with BAM, and just different things that you have done within your organization. So that's really good. And also, can we talk? Because you said something about have your you know doing stuff with the trunk parties as well. Like you just said something about you had a student that went to jail, right? Like as we know recently, the looting been going on and the riots and stuff like that. What has your perspectives been about that? Like was your students out there and the
Pretty,
perspectives of that and the negative stigma they put out for you out being out there.
yeah, you said were they out there? I'm pretty sure I had some out there. I had some homies I grew up with who was outside.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the thing about Chicago and the environment is the mentality is you gotta get yours when you can, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some people looted because they were upset about what was going on, and some saw opportunity. But the reality of the situation is you gotta think about that person who never had or who wants, and when they see opportunity, more often than not, they're going to take it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the looting did it personally affect me? Yeah, like I live in Inglewood, so to this day, going in to go to the store and coming out, it took a long time. A lot of stores to open back up. Some not opening back
Mm-hmm.
up. It's already
Yeah.
like a food desert in most of these neighborhoods. So yeah, I was definitely upset about that. But at the same time, I'd be a fool to not understand it because
Mm-hmm.
when you don't have and this is even with an organization. Let's say I'm a running organization, right? When you make
Mm-hmm.
people in the organization feel like they're part of the organization, they're not going to care about it. So when you got a city of people who don't have any type of connection to their neighborhoods, or there is a neighborhood, there's no connection, they're not going to care about it. And that's just the truth
Yeah,
behind it.
that is.
And I think as leaders, we dropped the ball too because it was ways looting could have been used to our advantage or whatever the movement was that
Mm-hmm.
we just don't do because we don't have a collective audience. Uh,
Mm.
we it's a lot of and one thing I will say, had I known this many soldiers out here, this many angry people, I would have been used to my advantage because I think mentoring is key. I think it's big, and a lot of people, some people only loot, but and they throw a brick to break a window, but they never use a brick to build something up. So that was my only issue. It's like you out here angry and you showing that anger, but when that energy transfers over, what are you doing to help build or get back, right? So like I said,
Mm.
you could burn it down if you want to, but at the same time, I need you out here helping these old people get their medicine now, bro. You know what I'm saying? I need you
Right.
to help get their groceries
Yeah.
now. Like you did what you did, I understand it. The situation is people still need stuff. We still need stuff. We still need to plan. We still need to move together. So if
Yeah.
you went out to steal or whatever, went to the crib, you a different type of person. And your character will
Yeah.
show. But if all the people that was angry, we all really put our energy towards community economics, because we got money as a collective,
Yes, we
or
do.
mentorship, or building the community up, it will be super powerful. Because it was so many people looting, the police couldn't even do nothing about it. They couldn't
Couldn't
even
do nothing. And they
do
was
nothing
right there.
about it. So if we put that same energy into us learning proper firearm training, into us learning proper defense, into us learning how to grow food, into us learning how to use our money to build our own business again, we'll be unstoppable. So that was my main irritation behind what went on.
Wow.
Um,
That's good. Ah, that's good. That was so much nuggets. Like for you to say that the same brick that you use to throw it, listen, build it up, like build a building with it. And that was so good. Like, okay, man, you did what you did. I understand. And you change your perspective. Like, okay, I understand why you did it. You said like some of your homies you went to school with did it. But the thing about it is, okay, man, like your grandma needs to get her medicine. You feel what I'm saying? Grandpa needs to get his medicine. Like they have resources and y'all didn't wreck this place. But I get you angry. I understand the stuff that went on, the police brutality and stuff like that. It went on. But that's a good perspective. So we're gonna talk more. Like something that you just said that was so profound was that if we was to actually um build different things, organization within our community, we'll be unstoppable, right? Like if we really come together and make a movement out of something and not negative and nothing like that, like we will really be unstoppable. So like what is like some things that you may have in the works, maybe, for like that literally can help that? Cause I know you got something up your sleeve.
You just reminded me because I put work on this app, and I don't want to get the details,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
to me, it's a way for us to give back without working too hard. Um, just like there's apps that help you save money without even trying.
Right.
Uh, it's different apps like you got Acorns and you got what's the other app I use? Digit, stuff like that. I'm thinking about an app that has the same identity but
Mm-hmm.
helps us give back. It helps us build as a community. Um, that's one thing. I might be planning some stuff for this upcoming October.
Okay.
For some of NIU people, if things coming, things work out. The issue with planning right now is that COVID, you got all these
Yeah, so
restrictions.
much. Yeah, guidelines and stuff.
Virtual, like it's cool, but I'd rather be in person. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not doing no more virtual events. I just can't do it.
You
It
can't
just
do it.
don't work for me no more. I can't do it. Like I never was the type of person. Like even when I was in school talking to somebody, like I don't want to talk on the phone, slap to my dorm. Like I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Or let's meet up
Right.
somewhere. So I need a human connection. I need a human touch.
Hmm.
But um, my bigger thing right now is getting my own LLCs I need for these businesses I'm working on. So
Hmm.
and once I really get the wealth aspect established, I can do more for other people. I can put more people
Ooh.
on. I can invest in more people's businesses, and stuff like that. And that's a big goal of mine. Like I want to show people, and I think Chance did a good job of doing this. A lot of celebrities, you always wonder, like, man, where all this money going? What
Hmm.
they doing with it? I think Chance did a good job of showcasing that you do make a difference and you can't help. So I already do about speaking and mentoring, but the reality is finances make a difference in people's lives in the
Ooh.
capitalist society we live in. So my biggest thing is get my finances in order to where my family is straight. Because like I said, I'm first generation. I'm the
Yeah.
breadwinner in my family at the moment. But when you
Wow.
build up your circle around you and everybody eats, it takes weight off your back. So
Everybody needs to be. Yeah.
yeah, my plan is to get my money in order so my homies could be good and whatever they goals are. I got a homie that's a chef. I really want him to, what I'm saying, boom with that. I got two homies that's a chef. I got a homie that might want like, be electrician. I got a homie that want to go to stocks. I want my family who I ate with when I was 16 or 15 to eat with me again. And I want to give back. So that's what my main goal is right now. Stop
Yeah.
spending money on BS because I gotta have it
Period.
straight up and save more and put that money to the side to make it grow.
Wow, that's dope. That is so dope. Like you talking my language. This is what I was talking about, man. Like it's so important to be surrounded by people who like not only like, this thinkers and visionaries, but like they are doers. They shaking. You know what I'm saying? This is what this man doing. Like he's doing some great things and like you said, some things that he has a portfolio of like just giving back. And like one thing he said from the beginning all the way to the very end now is like literally like how he want to put people on. He want to put people on game. He want to just give back, not just you know wisdom and knowledge and stuff like that, but he want to give resources to people in need, right? Like he said, he want to give his money in order so he can get things in order within his household, but also like just give back to the community as well as his people. So that's what's up. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. We'll definitely talk more about that. Me and you about some things that I have in the works pertaining this brand out statistic as well. I think that you'll be, interested. I'm sure you'll be interested in. So I'm just going to go and then we're going to have some maybe questions and see if someone else have any questions for him. But what makes you not a statistic, man? Like, what makes you not a statistic? What makes you different?
You know what's funny about that? And I love the brand, and I'm a little different. I'm gonna speak on this.
Mhm.
Everybody is a statistic, right?
Mhm.
But as black people, we are labeled as negative. So getting pregnant early, you're a statistic. You know what I'm saying? Or dropping out of school, you're a statistic. Or going to jail as a young man or getting murdered, you're a statistic. But the reality is, a statistic is just a number. So
Yeah.
I'm a statistic. I'm a black man with a master's degree, right? So I'm a black man who owns property. I'm a black man that probably beat a few odds. So I'm a statistic, but I'm just more of a positive statistic that we don't talk about often. Um,
That's what I'm
so
saying.
so yeah, like I'm in a different category right now. Like I'm 30, I'm still alive. That I always heard. Y'all die by 25, and here even like stuff like that. It's stuff that put in the media statistically that just change our thought process. Like I legit thought black fathers didn't exist because of the statistics that I right,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
that's not the case. Like they
Right.
base those statistics on the father being with the mom, and you're not together, then he's not in the child's life statistically. But in reality, that's
Statistically,
not the
yeah.
case. A lot of black
Yeah.
men are dads, and that changes the way a black boy views himself. I look
Yeah.
online how black men ain't shit all day. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And as a
Right.
young man, that really defeats you. So seeing the negative about black men ain't doing this, black men ain't doing that, it does hurt.
Mm.
But when I look at statistics of how many black men marry black women, or how many black men actually are in college versus being in jail, it changes the thought process. So I'm definitely a statistic. I'm just not the one that the media wants us to focus on.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. Because they have so many negatives, that they say that, 53% of black men are don't finish college. They have another statistic like 68 is like don't,
I speak on that statistic. Less than I don't know if 50% or 60% of people don't finish college in general. So
yeah,
like
yeah,
college, the graduation for college, the rates, everybody can't finish it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
The rates of
absolutely.
that as a whole are terrible. But them saying the black man don't do it, it looks bad, right? Because I
Right,
guarantee
exactly.
the whites probably don't finish college either.
They don't talk about that though.
No, but it's also focus on too. Us as a culture, we like to focus on negative stuff all the time.
That's
We like,
true.
it fuels us. I don't know what it is, but that's just something we do as a people, and we really like make that. We make that reality in our head when it's not the
Yeah.
norm across the board.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's what you focus on, and that's so true. Like what you consume is what it is. Like it's even the Bible talks about what a man thinks is who he is. So I think that's so true. You are what you focus on. Like, and that's anything. Like you gonna get the money. What if you focus on getting money, you gonna get money. You know what I'm saying? Whether you focus on getting legal money or whatever it may be, you focus on. You get whatever you focus on. So that was really good. Before I let you go, can you give us, our viewers, um, any advice specifically to our youth after doing this pandemic? Because everybody's doing e-learning or online learning if you in college or whatever. What was some advice as not only just wealth but also mindset?
Okay, so I'm gonna go into little tips that work for me before I go into like the big things. So one thing I learned, and this is gonna be real interesting. So like when alarm in the morning,
Hmm.
I really think the song I choose for my alarm shapes my thoughts when I wake up.
Wow.
So like when I wake up to a certain song, it's like, all right, I'm ready for the day. You know what I'm saying? Like that,
Hmm.
like I feel a little more motivated. Um,
Wow.
Also, everybody don't have a large house, but I would say that changing rooms in between meetings and classes might help too. Because sitting in that same space all day, like
Hmm.
it don't work. Like you get antsy, you tired of this environment. You need a shift. So when you kind of change your environment in between classes or in between meetings, it gives you like a more sort of a fresh mindset, which helps. But I think the biggest thing doing this time, because we're not gonna get this type of time again. Like
And
we all feel busy, but we're not as
yeah.
busy as we once were, right? There's
Right.
there's 168 hours in a week, and I guarantee it's probably not going towards a lot. Now I got some students that feel like they've been bombarded by work. Their teachers not teaching them nothing. They just doing a lot of
Yeah.
homework. But for those that know they have time, figure out you. Pick up a new anything. Like it could be a random hobby you always wanted to do that you never did. You might want to build trains. I don't know. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? You might want
Right.
to learn new
Something.
wheels. It could be anything. The time is really now. And a big thing for me is planning for your future self. So the person you right now might not accomplish it, but if you start today, your future self will be like, man, I'm happy I did this, or I'm happy I did that.
Right.
And that's how you gotta live life, man. You really gotta put in work for your future self. Cause living for today is cool, but it, it goes by like that. Today's almost over already. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I do what I can to build for the future. I hope that answers your question, because
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, wherever you can, you got so much wisdom, so much experience. That's just a little bit, but I appreciate that, man. I just want to thank everyone who has tuned in. Thank you, Clifford.
yeah, thank
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it. So I
you.
thank everyone who came on, stayed with us, came off, came back on. I appreciate everyone who have liked, shared this content. Okay. We do have a question. So what advice would you give your students on how to handle with racial issues? What's going on there?
So
That's good, Dre.
this from a classmate? Is it from the staff and the faculty? That's more than that matters too. And I also, because I'm torn on this, right? Because one, I never want to tell somebody to not address something, right? I never want to say let's let it go. Like that's my not my meaning at all. But I also want to tell people that, like, we give power to racists sometimes depending on how we respond. You know what I'm saying? So, for instance, I had a situation where I was parking my car, and this white woman at a Target was like, she said something like crazy to me, like, oh man, like, I didn't know y'all could have this type of car or something like that. And I was
Mm,
like, and I laughed, like, and I can tell you don't have this type of car. And I walked off, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't really feeding to it, because
right.
you a goofy because you're white don't mean, like, that supremacy thing. We also give it power because we give them the energy to fight on our level. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because, like, I don't know, I grew up always hearing that they had better school, and I'm not saying that everybody that's white is just wrong or in the wrong, but at the same time, I thought this was the case until I started seeing who people support politically and the stuff that's posted online, and the idea that these people are smarter than us is a myth. The idea they know what's right is a myth. And when you know they're not on your level, or see my language, not fucking with you, you really stop caring as much. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and that's how it got to be, because a lot of these people, you got to look at suicide rates, you got to look at health, you got to look at how people really live their life. A lot of these people who we fight on these race battles with don't get it all together at
At
all.
all, man.
And to be honest, if you really, really spend time and hate somebody based on their race, you already losing. So I
Woo!
want to ask her a question. I said, if it's a systematic thing and it's affecting your grades, you got a teacher not giving you the grades you deserve, you getting belittled in that regard, that's one thing. And that's when you really got to involve your parents and administration, because no school wants to be a headline. Schools want to
Yeah.
avoid that headline. You know what I'm saying? If it's another student that's being racist, you in a racist environment, you got to have thick skin because you're young and you're in a school that's diverse, quote unquote. Or
Right.
you're in
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So you got to play that differently. They might have the school structure is different. You might want to fit in with your peers, you might not, but you really got to have your own thick skin and build your own character and identity to be able to deal with that. And I ain't saying nobody walk over you at all. You know what I'm saying? But you could treat people without even raising your voice. It's an art to it.
Period. It
It's an
is.
art to it. So it depends on the racism they're experiencing.
That's
People putting their hands on you or messing with your property is also different. And I hate that. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm not always the most political person. I'm be honest. If smaller sister said some white boy touched her or something like that, I'm coming to the school and I ain't talking to nobody about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. I ain't gonna say like I'm a saint. It depends on what was said to who and when. I'm gonna address it. Somebody being racist to me, cool. My mom at the grocery store, they said what? Here I come. You know what I'm saying? So
period.
I ain't gonna act like I'm a saint, but it depends on what you could take and it depends on what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. That's good. Dre, I hope that answered your question. Thank you for anybody else have any questions for Ricky as we ending this? He gave some great information, man. If y'all have not shared this, I will do that now. Somebody's gonna watch this replay and be blessed, because I definitely was. So I wanted to say thank you again for coming on. I appreciate it. I have grew up since you met me. Listen, Listen, and I just appreciate all the things that you have done for the community, all the things you're doing for the youth, man. Like you, are such an inspiration to me and others. Just keep doing your thing. I see you, you real comical, and then as well as thank you, Drea. You giving out great knowledge. I see you. You help me with my LLC, so I appreciate that. So just keep doing what you're doing. And I appreciate you. And thank everyone again for coming on, tuning in. To Not a Statistic TV. So we'll be back next Monday with another special guest. So you all have a great night. Thank you. Have a great night, guys.
All right.